In today's video, I'll be taking you on the law of contracts. I am Nwafọ Emanuela Ezinne, a passionate legal educator. Like I said at initio, in today's lecture, I'll be taking you on the law of contracts. Alright. Contracts in its simplest definition can be defined as that agreement which the law can enforce. Let's go by the definition by our learned justice in the case of Bilante International Limited versus NDIC. In that case, a contract was defined as an agreement between two or more parties who create an obligation to do or not to do a particular thing. I will try as much as possible to bring it home. Let's take a scenario. Let me say you watching me right now, assuming that you watching me right now entered into a contract with one Chukwebuka. You sell books and Chukwebuka approached you and asked, how much do you sell this book? You told Chukwebuka, this book is sold at 5,000 naira. Chukwebuka agreed, alright, 5,000 naira, okay. He agreed with you and transferred the 5,000 naira to you. Then you now transfer the title in this book, the ownership in this book to Chukwebuka. A contract has been consummated at this point. I'm just using a scenario. You can apply it in everyday life. You understand? So that's in this scenario now, a contract has been consummated. And for a contract to be valid, 5 valid elements must be present for that contract to be valid. There must be an offer, there must be an acceptance, there must be intention to create legal relation, there must be contractual capacity, and there must be a consensus addendum. I will take them one after the other. Offer is one of the elements that must be present for a contract to be enforced in the court of law. An offer is a definite proposal made with the intention that once it is being accepted by the party to whom it is made, will create an enforceable contract, right? Let's use a scenario that I used before. Chukwebuka approached you and offered to buy this book. Oh, how much do you sell this book? With the intention to buy. That is an offer. He has offered to buy this book from you, right? And you accepted to sell it to him, right? So that is offer and acceptance works hand in hand, all right? So the next element is intention to create legal relation. This particular element of a valid contract is somehow funny, but then dura less sed less. That is a Latin maxim that translates to law might be hard, but that is the law, all right? So in this particular element, the court would always come in to inquire whether or not there was an actual intention to enforce this particular contract in the court of law. All right. Generally speaking, to every general rule, there is always an exception. Then I'm speaking from the general point right now. I will still talk about the exception maybe in my next video so that this video will not be very long. But if you have interest in what I've been saying, please hit the subscribe button, like this video. Thank you so much. All right. Generally speaking, the general rule concerning the law of contract is that when a contract involves a social agreement and family arrangements, there is no always an intention to create legal relation. The court will not presume that there is an intention to create legal relation. But just like I said before, to every general rule, there is always an exception. There are some exceptions to it, which I will talk about in my next video, right? But then, in commercial transactions, there is always a presumption of intention to create legal relation. There is always that presumption. Let me give you a scenario of social agreement. Let me take for instance that a boyfriend and a girlfriend are into relationship. Maybe the girl was not willing to marry him. He was just there for, you understand, to showcase, right? So the boyfriend promised to buy her a mansion if she agrees to marry him, right? And the girl was like, wow, mansion, all right, I've agreed to marry you. And immediately they became husband and wife. They got married legally and became husband and wife, right? Maybe after a year, no mansion, 2 years, 3 years, no mansion. Can the wife now go to court to enforce that promise made by the husband in the courts? the law will generally presume that there was no intention to enforce that kind of promise, because the law generally respects social agreements. They generally respect social agreement, right? But there are exceptions to it. So another element right now is contractual capacity. There might be an offer, acceptance, intention to create legal relation, but then once the parties to a contract lack contractual capacity, the contract will not be enforced in the court of law. Who are the people that are generally protected by law? The infants don't have the capacity to enter into a contract. Generally speaking, they don't have the capacity to enter into a contract. So let's take for instance that you entered into a contract with a 4-year-old child, thinking that the if the child did not perform his own part of consideration, that you enforce it in the course of law, the child will win against you. Why? Because he lacked contractual capacity to enter into a contract generally. All right. So also, other people that are being protected by law are the drunks, the insane people. Lastly, parties must be in consensus at them, right? Their minds must meet together. They must be devoid of mistake, misrepresentation, inducements. They should give their free consent to it. You understand? So that is the last element. Hit the like button, subscribe to this video. In my next video, it will be very, very interesting. Thank you.